What's a harsh reality that everybody needs to hear? Children's first bullies are often their parents. Your life can be changed forever in the blink of an eye. You have to deal with it or die. I'm 62, I went to run errands one day with my beautiful wife of 42 years and I came home 2 hours later a widower. She died of a massive heart attack in the passenger seat. That was about 13 months ago. It's been hard, but I'm still here thanks to some wonderful people in my life. It won't just happen. I spent a lot of my early 20s being sad and defeatist, feeling sorry for myself. I always coped with this by telling myself that I'd make something of myself eventually, and meet a woman eventually, and be happy eventually. The truth is, eventually doesn't come if you don't make it come. Improvement has to be proactive. You can end up 40 years old, living with your parents, playing video games all day, and with no motivation. Nothing will prevent that from happening other than you. Most people should not be on social media of any kind because they cannot handle what it does to them mentally. It is not about socialization, it's about corporations monetizing your life. Whatever you say can and will be used against you. Physical appearance matters. Almost everyone is shallow, and if you are ugly, people might treat you as inferior and you will have disadvantages in almost every aspect of life, i.e. pretty privilege or halo effect. Look that up. As an ugly person I confirm. Some people will hurt you, and they won't care how you feel about it. Just because you go out of your way for people, it doesn't mean they will do the same for you. Edit. I didn't expect this comment to get so many upvotes and replies as it has. Thank you for the awards too for those calling me out saying, I shouldn't expect anything back or I'm selfish that I don't go out of my way to help others without expecting anything in return. That's not what my comment said. All I'm saying is, be careful who you drop everything for. Life is not automatically easier just because you're a good person. You can love someone with all of your heart and not be loved back in the same way. Bad things can happen to good people. Good things can happen to bad people. It's unfair. It's life. It's a Star Trek reference, but it's a very realistic one. It is possible to make no mistake, and still lose. That is not a weakness, that is life. Sometimes you need to accept you did everything within your power right and it still went bad. And remember that this isn't something to beat yourself up over. These things happen. Edit. Holy hell did blew up. I'm glad to see so many. I needed to hear this. Comments. I know I needed to hear this the first time I saw this scene. Celebrities and influencers need us more than we need them. You don't realize the good, best times as they are happening. Your first relationship most likely won't be your last. Nobody is coming to save you. You have to do it yourself. Just because someone is your family doesn't mean they have your best interests at heart. Depression, an illness, a bad upbringing and many more. These are not excuses to treat people badly. If someone is nice to you, then these are not excuses to treat them like shit. And if you do, they are not required to forgive you. No one is required to give you a second chance. Sometimes you're the bad guy. Holy shit, this blew up. You can become disabled unexpectedly at any point in your life. Make sure you're taking advantage of the abilities you have while you have them. Smiley face. This one is both harsh and comforting. People don't think about you as much as you think they do. That means that your feelings might be ignored or not considered. People will forget things about you and might not remember things you've done together that were very memorable for you. That can be hard to realize. On the other hand, they probably don't remember that embarrassing thing you did in high school, or they don't care about it. They notice patterns of behaviors, more than occasional bad days that you have. So those times you feel bad about being off with someone, they probably don't think about them, unless they become frequent. Personally, I find it comforting. I thought I'd be happy when I graduated college, or when I got my first apartment, or when I bought my first home. Don't expect happiness to be at the finish line. Happiness comes from yourself, in the now. Enjoy the process. Nobody cares. So just go for it. Everyone's busy with themselves to pay too much attention to what you are doing. The probability of you making it as a professional gamer, streamer, YouTuber isn't worth quitting your job. You have a higher chance of getting hit by a car or winning $1 million lottery. Not saying give up, but be realistic. Keep a job that'll pay the bills while you try. Your trauma is not your fault, but it is your responsibility. You don't have as many friends or family as you think. I have a chronic illness, and the number of people who bailed on me during my hardest times only to pop up, surprised I was upset with them, once I started healing is truly disgusting. You've got a core few. Nurture those relationships like your life depends on it. Mine does. Danny, if you're spending 30 minutes every day in the shitty after lunch and still saying you shouldn't have had Taco Bell for lunch, maybe it's time to see a doctor, or stop going there for lunch. When you buy a pet, know that you are in all likelihood going to outlive them. You need to mentally prepare yourself for that inevitable day. Not everything is a lesson, Ryan, sometimes you just fail. Life is not fair. Expecting it to be, will always disappoint you. People will get special treatment for all kinds of things. It will never change. Not everyone has to shit themselves or hunch over in pain after consuming dairy. Those cramps, that gas, the shit is called lactose intolerant. Get lactide or give up the Captain Crunch. Youth is wasted on the young. Before you know it, you're 40 to 50 wondering where the years went. Stop giving a fuck what people think about you, ask him, her out. Start that business and jack in the job you hate. Tell your family you love them even if you're in a feud with them. Etc. Sometimes, you are the problem in a relationship. And if people keep on leaving you, it may well be your fault. Even if you don't feel like it is. Hard work won't guarantee a thing. But without it, you don't stand a chance. For most of us, work is a business transaction. You're trading your time for money. Your employer isn't your friend, father or mother, they owe you what they promised to give you in exchange for your time. That's it. If your work isn't fulfilling or making you happy, either spend your free time making yourself happy or work somewhere else. The few people who live in wealthiest countries in the world still struggle to find happiness. Stop wanting what other people have because it looks like it makes them happy. They aren't any happier or better than you because they have things. Finally, while these facts suck for most of us, the sooner you internalize them and shift your values, the better you will be. You can't get your time back. Stop wasting it. When it's over 1,000 comments, no one will upvote or read yours. Lol edited. Glad I can bring some humor smiley face. It's awful but it's mine lol. It's not your fault, but it's still your responsibility to deal with it. Applies to a whole lot of things in life. Brutal honesty without tact is just brutality. You're not being as helpful as you think you are by claiming to offer people harsh truths. The mass die-off of crabs off Alaska is a bigger deal than most realize. 90% population crash almost instantly. You can do everything right and still fail. You can be the best employee in company, but when illness comes, like cancer, they will change you with fresh meat. Peace personal experience edit. Okay, 85% of time smiley face. I know that there is some good companies, but majority don't care about you. Business is business. Reddit isn't the world, and getting downvotes or upvotes amount to nothing. Also, your waifu isn't real. The good old days were rarely good days when they were young. Rose-colored glasses, nostalgia vision, whatever you want to call it, the good old days probably weren't as good as you're thinking. Looks play way more important role in life than people want to believe and accept. There will always be someone better than you at what you do best. Your delusions about yourself are not people's responsibility to respect or believe. Nobody wants to hear your music, either from your car or from your headphoneless phone. That all animal life on this planet is going through a mass extinction. There is now 70% less today when comparing to 1970. And that it's caused by man. In a conversation, most people aren't really listening to you, they are focused on when they can say their piece. Chances are you are doing this too. Cheaters will succeed far more than people going by the book. A lot of success comes down to luck. People can work extremely hard, do everything right, be the most qualified, best person, etc. And they get totally overlooked for someone else. A huge reason some people are winners and some people are losers is just straight up dumb fucking luck. When you've been married for 8 years and all of a sudden your wife wants an open marriage, it means she's already cheating on you but doesn't want to feel bad about it. No one is special, We are all 3 generations away from being totally forgotten, and the world will carry on after we die. You will never be rich enough to justify voting for trickle-down economics. The world does not owe you understanding. If you have traumas and mental health issues, it is not everyone else's job to tiptoe around you and tolerate bad behavior you refuse to address for yourself. Be nicer to your pets. Don't just let them sit in a cage or be home alone. Think it over once more if you have kids before you get a pet. Boneless wings are just chicken nuggets. To those that do it, the internet isn't the reason why you bully. It's also not an excuse. You bully because you're projecting your own insecurities onto someone else. That we're going to have this same thread next week. Sometimes hard work doesn't pay off. Working hard doesn't granted success. Hard work doesn't always pay off. People don't always get what they deserve. Whether bad or good, things don't happen for a reason. People always try to assign meaning to something, but that's not always the case. Life isn't fair. Bad things happen to good people and good things happen to bad people. You'll probably never become rich. The worst people are the best person to someone. They have done something good for someone. The best people are the worst to someone. They have done something bad for someone. People are dichotomous. They are gray. You can hate and love and fear the same person at the same time. Sometimes death is a kindness, but at the same time everyone dies alone. Death is scary, and no matter how bad you feel, there is always something good. It may be something small, a pretty color, a nice texture, a good smell, a sweet note. And on a lighter note, toast always falls jelly down. It's not illegal to turn on the inside car light while driving. You're a unique and special and important person. Asterisk exactly the same as everyone else. You don't matter more than anyone else in the world, and pretending that you do is just arrogance. Freedom of choice does not mean freedom from consequences. Poor people don't have a mindset problem. They have a very real and tangible surviving problem. You can't be disciplined and get yourself up to side hustle and move forward after your job if you don't have anything to eat. Plus no significant other to motivate you, since almost everyone politely tells you to fuck off because you have no money. You could be the most quality person on earth. If you can't afford a bag of chips or a beer on the first date, you're done. There's just so many things that are not accessible to you. Like, a lot of great long-term decisions are just cut off from you because of the price, so you're stuck buying shitty stuff constantly. There's a point of financial stability at which you can move yourself up, but below that you just cannot. It's a whole other game you're playing. You are responsible for your own happiness. World peace will never be achieved. Half of the problems we are facing are just too big to be solved. You need to work on yourself. Waking up early and being intentional about working on body, mind, and soul will not only change your life but those around you. Also, take care of yourself so your loved ones won't have to. This was a hard lesson for me to learn these past few weeks. I've literally been working myself to death to build a future for my family. Blood pressure was 186/118, and I work out and eat healthy daily. My fiancée, she's a nurse, made the comment along the lines of, if you have a stroke, not only can you not provide for us, but we'll have to work extra to make up your loss of income and take care of you. Essentially, working myself to death for my family's future comfort would have effectively destroyed the future I was working for. Now I turn off after 12 hours on the clock, and take one day off a week, and my BP is back to normal. Disliking popular things is not a personality. Stop looking at social media for useful advice. Lots of things on social media is bull poop. I'm looking at you, fellow Redditor. Fascism is on the rise globally, and people need to be prepared against it. Putin is never going to back down, and Russia's aggression is very possibly going to lead to global war, whatever that may look like, even if Putin does not live to see it. There are way too many similarities between this current crisis and past conflicts. Life is short. Shorter than you think, and you're not guaranteed a certain amount of time, and neither are your friends and family. If you're a young person, it will sneak up on you really fast. You won't do all the things, or perhaps accomplish as much as you think you may. Don't waste too much time planning and daydreaming. It's never too early to just start working towards a goal of yours, and it's always a great day to just check something off your list rather than talking about it for another few years. It will be a decade before you realize it. Here comes some brutality that a lot of people, especially the chronically online people, aren't gonna like one bit. You weren't abused every single time someone was less than nice to you. Not everyone who's self-centered and emotionally immature is a narcissist. Not everyone who lacks social skills and/or has quirks and sensory issues is autistic. Your personal triggers are valid, but that doesn't mean everyone is responsible for them. Pastel memes on Instagram are mostly telling you absolute bullshit. Not everyone who you don't like is rude, has a mental issues. Some people are just assholes, and some people just don't match your vibe. That's normal. The assholes suck, but you'll come across them no matter what. I'm a huge mental health advocate and have GAD, depression and ADHD myself, but people these days are very quick to label everything, everyone. Mental illnesses are very real, but they're not applicable in every situation. Nor are they an excuse to act like shit. Die Hard really is a Christmas movie. 1. Many people overcomplicate their lives because overlooking what they have, they want for more or something different. If you have your health, a roof over your head, and food in the fridge, you have a good life. 2. Success is a hairy concept. Is it wealth and status, or is it living a life you are happy with that is consistent with your principles? I think it is the latter, but even with the latter, you will still have bills to pay. Even if wealth is not a primary motivator, having money is still quite important. Although hard work does not guarantee that money will become immaterial, it does increase the chances of a comfortable life during which you will be more free to pursue what you truly want to do with your time. And you will have to work hard to earn money. Life is very unfair, and the sooner you realize this, the faster you can change it. 1. Having experience doesn't make you good. 2. Death doesn't care about how and what you did in your whole life. Even if you are the richest man, your death can be the most trash and sad. Being a hustler doesn't make you cool. The world runs generally on scams and favoritism, and the sooner you accept that, the easier it is to navigate through life. The president does not control gas prices. Nobody gives a shit about every detail of your life, so stop posting everything to social media. Nobody exists on purpose. Nobody belongs anywhere. Everybody's gonna die. Come watch TV. You have been a toxic friend, a narcissistic asshole, an abusive sibling, and an abusive, neglectful parent or spouse at some point in your life. Maturity is realizing you were toxic too. Your coworkers are not your friends. HF. If you liked the video, please consider subscribing and liking. Any feedback in the comments would be greatly appreciated so that we can make these videos even better. Thanks for watching Upvote Stories.